Hey there, Jody Mint, mortgage advisor with Universal Lending here in Denver, Colorado. And today I want to talk to you about the 5 most common mistakes that I see first-time homebuyers make and what you can do to prevent that from happening to you. So first of all, thank you so much for joining our channel. If you would please subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it. And then you will be notified when we put out new content, so you stay in the know. But today, I want to talk about the 5 most common mistakes, break them down and let you know how to prevent them. So most common mistake number 1 is that a home buyer will start looking for homes before they are actually pre-approved. And it's so excited to get really excited and jazzed up. You may have identified maybe a neighborhood, a price range, or a home style that you're really interested in. You've been looking at homes, looking at the descriptions and the pictures, and you're so excited and you're getting emotionally involved in the process, and you don't even know if you're pre-approved or what you're pre-approved for yet. So big mistake. Unfortunately, I do see this happen all the time. But what you can do to prevent this is to make sure you get pre-approved, obviously. So getting pre-approved is a lot easier than most people think. It's usually a 15 to 20 minute loan application over the phone or in person. We pull your credit, we review your income and asset documentation, and we review all that information. We figure out how much you're pre-approved for. We're also going to make sure that what you're pre-approved for is in alignment with what you're actually comfortable paying, because sometimes people are actually pre-approved for more than they are comfortable paying. We will also send over a spreadsheet with some different loan options, different interest rate options, just so that you can, determine which program is best for you and what interest rate based on your long and short-term goals. The second most common mistake that I see first-time homebuyers make is along the same lines of a pre-approval, and that is getting a pre-qualification and not a pre-approval, and there is a difference. So a pre-qualification, you may have a loan application over the phone, they may pull credit, you tell them about your address history, your employment history, your income, and then they tell you what you're pre-approved for. So if they didn't ask to review your income documents, your asset documents, like your pay stubs, W-2s, in some cases tax returns, bank statements, retirement accounts, if they have not reviewed these documents, you are not pre-approved, you are pre-qualified. And I don't do pre-qualifications because you're just not getting the whole picture. And again, I don't want you out there looking for homes only to find out that you're not truly pre-approved. So you can, get under contract and put in your earnest money, and then the lender reviews your documents and you find out you're not pre-approved. It can be devastating. So what you can do to prevent this from happening is to make sure that your lender is pre-approving you and not just pre-qualifying you. And the difference again is pretty much just going to be, have they reviewed your income and asset documents? And if they haven't, I would probably look for another lender that's doing a full approval. I would reach out to your realtor and ask if they have a good referral for a lender that's going to give you a free pre-approval. And if this was a referral from your realtor, you might want to let them know, because they are expecting that this should be happening as well. So again, just make sure you're fully pre-approved. And then number 3 most common mistake during the first-time homebuyer process is making a large purchase during the process. So people will get under contract, they'll get really excited, they'll go out and they'll buy furniture for the home, they'll go out and buy a new car, or if their car lease is up, they'll go out and get under a new lease. Well, as long as that lease payment is the same, it shouldn't be an issue, but it could impact your credit score. If your payment goes up, if you have new credit that you didn't have before, or a higher payment than you had before, it could completely jeopardize your pre-approval. So when we qualify you, we are looking at a snapshot of what your credit looks like at the time of application, and your interest rates and approval are based on that. So if there are any changes to your credit, it could impact whether or not you get to buy a home, or it could impact the terms of your loan. So in order to avoid this, anything that you're going to do with your credit or debt, make sure you check with your lender first, and they'll let you know if it's a problem or not. So number 4 common mistake that I see is changing jobs in the middle of the home buying process. And sometimes it's not an issue. If you are W-2 and you go to another W-2 job in the same line of business, may not be an issue. But if you are bonused, commissioned, or overtime, we need a minimum of 1 year on the same job, and sometimes 2 years, in order to be able to count that income. So even if you are staying with the same job, but you are taking a promotion and now your base has shifted and you're making more commissions, it could impact the ability to qualify. So how you can prevent this from happening is anytime you're considering making a change in your pay structure or a job, check with your lender and just make sure that this is not going to jeopardize your ability to purchase a home. So, like I said, as long as you're in the same line of business and your pay structure is the same, it shouldn't be an issue, but any major changes, just run it by your lender. And then the 5th most common mistake that I see home buyers make is that it's their first purchase, they've never owned a home before, and they want to have their dream home. They have a list of all the requirements that they want to have, they're not going to settle, and they really want that dream home, they want it all. And unfortunately, this is not always realistic on a first purchase, especially in this competitive market right now. And what I always suggest to first-time home buyers, when you are buying your first home, you may have to give on some of that list of items that you're looking for in the home. But it's better to buy now, get your foot into the real estate market, get in the game, start building equity, get the tax write-off. And if you decide to wait until you can afford to buy what you consider to be your dream home, most likely interest rates are going to be higher, and most likely property values are going to be so much higher, and you may not even be able to afford that dream home a year or two from now. If values are anything like they've been in this last 6 months of the year, our values here in Colorado have gone up. I think it's like 15-16%. So get into that first home, be a little flexible, get into the market, like I said, start building that equity. And then in a year or two, if the values continue to increase the way that they have, you can either sell that home, take the equity, and use it as a down payment on your dream home, or you could even turn that property into a rental property, possibly use that rental income to offset that payment, so then you can qualify for a new home and maybe even qualify for more. So I hope that information is helpful, and if you have any questions, please reach out. And again, would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel, and thanks so much for joining us today.